Hi, this is a short demo for a food market MAS multi-agent system, combining JADE, a Java framework for software agents, and RAISON, a cloud-based symbolic AI platform from argument theory. Our project simulates an interaction between two intelligent agents, a buyer and a seller. The buyer wants to purchase some foods, but has some constraints, like food allergies, a limited budget, and sometimes favorite foods they'd love to get. They might even overspend slightly, if the offer is convincing. The seller, on the other hand, wants to empty their stock, but not randomly. They adapt their offers using three main strategies: a safe offer that avoids allergies and stays within budget, a premium offer with more expensive items and stays within budget, a negotiation offer, where we will try to go a little bit over the budget so we can squeeze some extra money from the buyer. This is risky. The buyer might accept, reject, or ask to negotiate once. So here is the decision policy implemented from what we previously said. For the buyer, we have a bunch of input data like the price, the number of items in the offer, etc. And given those input data, like for example if the price is over the budget, and we have no allergy in the offer, the buyer will choose to do a negotiation. Or in another scenario where there is an allergy in the offer, we choose to refuse the offer. Here it is a bit simpler for the seller. Given the budget and amount of allergies, we either decide to do a safe offer, a premium offer, or negotiation offer. For example, if he has no allergy and a big budget, we choose the premium offer. Let's see how our system works. Right now I'm setting up the sniffer from JADE, which provides a way to see the communication between two agents. Then we will analyze the output. I'm also adding an extra buyer so we can see the communication on the UI. First, we can see that the seller agent starts and initializes its product stock. Each product is associated with a quantity. Then, the buyer agent is launched. It randomly defines its preferences. The buyer agent finds a seller and sends its preferences, budget, and number of allergies. The seller receives these preferences and begins reasoning to generate an offer. The seller calls the RAISON API with the buyer's data and receives the decision, which corresponds to a negotiation offer. Then, the seller generates an offer and sends it to the buyer. The buyer receives the offer and also processes it using RAISON. The API returns a decision, meaning negotiate. Indeed, the offer contains no allergens, but it exceeds the buyer's budget. The buyer sends back its decision and waits for the final offer. The seller receives the negotiation request, enters the negotiation phase. It checks the possibility of satisfying a buyer's preference. In this case, there is no possibility of finding the buyer's favorite food. RAISON then recommends an offer with a lower price and fewer items. The agent can therefore construct a final offer by reducing its price. And for the final decision, the buyer refuses, because the offer contains too many items. After that, the buyer exits. Since the seller's stock remains unchanged and not empty, it will wait for a new client, so we add a new agent and repeat the same process. For the buyer 4, we can see in the sniffer UI that a lot of messages were sent. It first requested an offer, then the seller proposed an offer. And our buyer 4 responded with a call for proposal, which means the offer is okay but not like how he wants. The seller proposed a new offer, but at the end the buyer decided to not accept the offer. We can keep adding buyers until the seller runs out of stock. As we can see, the seller runs out of stock in the end because some buyer agents accepted the proposed offers.